Ovarian cysts. What a joy! I wanted to share sort of my experience with this because I do not feel like we talk about how common ovarian cysts are. As soon as I tell someone that I'm like, oh, I'm probably gonna have a procedure, a little surgery to get these ovarian cysts removed, immediately they're like, oh, my sister had that. Oh, I have 3 friends who've had that. It's incredibly common and we don't talk about it. So here I am talking about it. Hi friends, if you're new here, my name is Katharine Quinn. I am a 30-something living in New York City and I work on Broadway. Last year I worked on Shucked and How to Dance in Ohio. This year I'm working on The Great Gatsby on Broadway and I share my wonderful, crazy, exhausting, challenging, magical theatrical life here on YouTube. This video is a little different. This video is about my journey with ovarian cysts, which is so much fun. So much fun, in fact, that Feeny came out, my wonderful dog, came out to check in with me. I've been watching other people's videos on YouTube talking about their experiences and I found that incredibly helpful. So I'm hopeful that this is helpful to someone out there. Okay, so how did I know that I had an ovarian cyst? I was working on 2 shows at once in March. It was very, very busy. I constantly had stomach aches. Now it's worth noting that I've also had charming digestive issues. I had a colonoscopy a little over a year ago, removed 1 precancerous polyp, so it was pretty good to go. The other thing worth noting is I have lovely hormonal issues. So like I have this cystic acne that I'm dealing with in my 30s, which is just truly unfair. Again, spoiler alert, we think this is all related. But I kind of had like a persistent stomach ache and a pang sensation, little darting pains on my left side. And this was going on for enough days in a row that I was like, okay, this is weird. I should get this checked out. So I scheduled a telehealth appointment with my gastroenterologist and just said, listen, this is what I'm dealing with. I'm a little, nervous about it, but hopefully it's nothing. Could it be just like hemorrhoids, an upset stomach? Is it IBS? And my gastroenterologist was essentially like, your colonoscopy 1 year ago came back clear, so it's none of those things. I honestly think that you're fine. You don't need to worry about it. But if you feel like, for peace of mind, you want a CT scan, then we can send you in for one and just make sure that everything is good to go. And I said, yes, please. My CT scan was scheduled for April. So between March and April, the pain sometimes would go away for a couple of days and then come back. But then by the time we got into April, pre-CT scan, it was constant. And not like super sharp pain, just a dull ache on my left side, like lower left quadrant is now what I know what they call it, but lower left side of my abdomen consistently. Now that I know what it is, it feels like I just permanently have period cramps, but I think that I only feel that way because I know specifically where it is. I still have them. I haven't had my surgery yet. I feel pain almost down to my leg. I also feel it in my lower back, and then I occasionally will feel it like transverse abs, like on my sides. I felt pressure and bloating like all the time. So went in for my CT scan with contrast and they were like, you have an unremarkable abdomen, which was a thrill. However, we found a 2-centimeter cyst on your lower left side. Recommend transvaginal ultrasound. This is the part of the story where I'm going to say you have to advocate for yourself, and almost every video I've watched on this says stuff like that. My gastroenterologist was like, oh, I don't think you need this, but like if you feel like you do, I'll write you, like a referral for a CT scan. And I'm so glad I was better safe than sorry, because this pain has not gone away and I do want this taken care of. And we did find something. It wasn't what we expected, but we found something. I followed up with my gastroenterologist, who's like highly rated in Manhattan, okay? And New Yorkers are gonna be picky about this. Great reviews. And yet, even amongst the best of doctors, I had to call over 2 weeks, like every other day, just being like, hi, I need a referral for a transvaginal ultrasound from my doctor, because the report that I can clearly see on my lab report says that's what I should get. 2 weeks later, I finally get a call back from the office that says, hey, you need to come in for a follow-up appointment. And I'm like, but I know what I need. How much is an in-person visit? $200. How much is a telehealth visit? $75. I'm like, fine, let's do a $75 telehealth visit. It wasn't covered by my insurance. We have a telehealth visit. And he's like, yeah, you have a little cyst, but I wouldn't worry about it. It's not even on the side where you're feeling pain, so like you're gonna be fine. And I was like, it is on the side where I'm having pain. And he was like, oh, it is? Let me read the report. Oh, you're right. Okay, well, they recommend you have a transvaginal ultrasound. I don't think that you necessarily need that, but you can if you want. And I was like, yes. And they were like, okay, I'll write you a referral for this OBGYN. And I was like, Thank you. Truly a worthless $75. Not totally gaslit, but just like not useful. Anyway, got my referral for the OBGYN. Scheduled an appointment with the OBGYN. And y'all, we've got to talk about this office that I went to. If you're in New York, Viva Eve. Oh, it's amazing. It's clearly built by and for millennials. It's aesthetically beautiful. They had a nutritionist as well as a dermatologist, as well as the OBGYNs, everything from like skincare to surgery. Like they just do all the women's stuff, and it's a magical place. Not in network, but magical. And they always answer your calls, which I really appreciate having gone through this whole process. So have this appointment, have my ultrasound. If you don't know what a transvaginal ultrasound is, I will be explaining to you in medical terms. They stick a camera up your vagine and poke around in there and see what's going on. Very exciting stuff. My ultrasound tech took her time, and there were some measurements being taken. So, and I don't know. I see the ultrasound, but it means nothing to me. But I'm like, okay, we're spending enough time like doing clickies and measurement cross corners that like there's something going on. Doctor comes in, is like, hey, you have a 5 centimeter cyst on your left side, which is like a little bigger than a golf ball, a little smaller than a racquetball, on your almond-sized ovary. And on your right side, you have 2 cysts. One is 1 centimeter and one is 2 centimeters. In order for you to be recommended to surgery, we need an addendum placed on your CT scan. Fine. So we did all of that, and now where we are in the process is tomorrow I have a surgical consult with somebody who is in network and well-reviewed, and we are praying. I am just so hopeful that I get in sooner rather than later. I'm not sleeping through the night. I'm in pain unless I'm taking ibuprofen constantly, and I'm just ready to get it fixed. They suspect I have endometrial cysts. They say they look like chocolate cysts. Something about endometrial cysts is other cysts can absorb back into the body. Endometrial cysts do not. They don't go away on their own. They have to be surgically removed. Now, if they're not bothering you or causing any symptoms, I'm not a doctor, but theoretically you don't need to do anything about that. Mine, on my left side especially, and in general there's pressure, but on the left side especially, is causing me pain. I want it gone. It's just constant. So that's where we are currently. That is my journey up until this point. I'm hoping to have a laparoscopy, ideally like in my dreams, next week. Like clear my calendar, get this done. It's a 6-week recovery process. A laparoscopy is where they will do keyhole incisions in like 2 or 3 different spots, like usually your navel and then like 1 on each side. And will I have little scars? Yes, it's fine. It's fine. Vanity, schmanity, you know? They're cute. It's a story. And then they inflate your stomach with gas and they pull the cysts out of there. Really exciting stuff. Typically you don't have to stay overnight. If they have to convert from a laparoscopic removal to a C-section, obviously that's a more intense surgery. You do have to stay the night. I really am hoping that that doesn't happen. It's also worth noting my OBGYN at Viva Eve did recommend a medication that he was like, this could improve your symptoms and this could shrink the cyst. But when I looked it up online, there's 0 evidence online that it actually shrinks endometrial cysts. I was like, my understanding is that endometrial cysts don't go away on their own. And he was like, that's pretty much correct. But maybe this will shrink it before surgery. So I was like, I don't know. I have felt slightly gaslit throughout this process, or not gaslit. You know what? I mean, the thing is that they don't want to scare you and they don't want you having needless procedures, but by the same token, exactly where there was pain, there's a golf ball sized little tumor in there. So like, speaking of tumors, there's less than 1% chance that this is cancerous. It's always a risk. I hope they biopsy it when they take it out, because I would like to know that information officially. So surely they will assess that situation. I'll ask about that tomorrow in my consult. The last weird thing that happened, I had an appointment scheduled today, and when I called to be like, hey, how far out is she booking surgeries? They were like, oh, you're in the system, but you don't have an appointment for today. Do you want one for tomorrow? This whole process has just been like, wow, healthcare in America is the worst. It's just been the worst. That's where we are at this point. If this is something that you have been through, feel free to leave your experience. If this is something that you are currently going through, also feel free to leave your experience or questions. I will make another video from like surgery consult through surgery and recovery. Yeah, I'm ready to get this show on the road. Thank you for listening. Again, I just think it's something that we should be talking about more, and hopefully sharing this experience and learning what I have learned is offering some help to one of you. and stay tuned. I'll keep you posted. If you like theatery content, that's the majority of my content, so feel free to follow this channel. As always, thank you so much for watching. I encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe. It's the surest way for people like you, wonderful people, to find my YouTube videos. The channel is just over a year old, so it really does mean a lot. I also invite you to follow me on Instagram and TikTok at @Katharine_Quinn. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hopefully without a cyst. Okay, or 3 cysts. Bye!